As a PhD researcher, you already know that the loneliness sneaks up on you. You start your PhD full of ideas, full of energy, and slowly, quietly, it just becomes you and your laptop and no one else. You're reading alone, writing alone, worrying alone, catastrophizing alone. And that kind of isolation is one of the biggest reasons that PhD researchers think about quitting their PhD. Not because they can't do the work, because they absolutely can, but because doing everything alone makes the work feel heavier than it is. And the silence that exists in that loneliness, that enables those imposter syndrome voices to become incredibly loud. You know what they sound like, those ones that say, maybe you're not cut out for this, maybe you're not smart enough for this, maybe you don't belong in academia. Today, I want to talk about this topic of loneliness and something that completely changed my life when I was building Degree Doctor. And that was the power of community. Now, not in a cheesy way, not in a cringy way, but in a very real and very practical, this kept me going when I was overwhelmed and doubting myself kind of way. When I first started building Degree Doctor, and this YouTube channel was part of that, I had no idea what I was doing. I was a complete outsider in the online world. Everyone else who was doing the kind of thing that I wanted to do online seemed way more confident. Their content looked really polished and their audiences were huge, like eye-wateringly huge. And they all just seemed light years ahead of me. And just thinking back to that time, I can remember thinking, well, who am I to do this? Look at all these other people who've really got their stuff together. And I'm just flailing around, trying to start from zero without a clue. How was I ever going to get anywhere? But here's what changed everything. I joined a community of people who were also trying to build something online from scratch, from zero. These people were creators, educators, online business owners. People who understood what it felt like to build something that matters, something that was going to make a difference to people, whilst also juggling a job, a life, imposter syndrome, overwhelming comparison, and just general uncertainty. And these people, they got it. They understood exactly what I was feeling, what I was worrying about, what I was stressing over. And they didn't just cheer me on. They helped me figure out things that felt really confusing and impossible, like how to build a YouTube channel, how to set up an email list, how to create digital downloads, which would eventually become my PhD survival guides. They helped keep me going on the days when I genuinely questioned whether Degree Doctor was ever going to work. And here's the thing. Your PhD might feel very different on the surface from other people's PhDs, but the emotional landscape that you are navigating is the same. Feeling like an outsider, looking around you and thinking everyone else is ahead of me and I'm falling behind. Feeling utterly overwhelmed by the sheer scale of what it is you're trying to do. And believing that you've just got to figure this out on your own. You don't. A supportive community does three things that transform the PhD journey. Firstly, it normalises the struggle. You realise that the confusion, the setbacks, the messy drafts, those are not problems, those are not indicators that you're failing. Those are absolutely 100% normal parts of the PhD journey. Secondly, it keeps you moving. Other people who understand what it is to go through what you're going through, they keep you accountable, but without the shame. They remind you about your goals when you forget about them. They are there encouraging you when the motivation disappears. And thirdly, it stops the isolation spiral. When you're trying to tackle everything on your own, one difficult paragraph can become, I'm behind, everyone else has it together, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. But in a supportive community, that same moment becomes this. Oh, everyone struggles with this. I can fix it, I can keep going. And that shift is everything. And that is why I've created a membership community for PhD researchers. A place where you don't have to pretend. You don't have to hide that you're struggling. or just sit on questions that you're too embarrassed to ask. It's a place that I've designed to give you clarity, confidence, and make consistent progress in. Just like the support that I had when I was building Degree Doctor. It's about connection, direction, and encouraging each other. The kind that actually helps you write the next paragraph. Because that is what will get your PhD finished. Writing the next paragraph and repeating that again and again and again. Here's something that I think every PhD student should hear on day one. You don't have to wait until you feel confident in what you're doing to seek support from other people. Because confidence will come from support. And whether you join my community or whether you seek support somewhere else, please don't try and do your PhD completely on your own. Because you're a human and humans need connection. Especially when they're doing something as hard and as meaningful as a PhD. Find people who get it. Let them cheer you on. Let them make the journey feel a bit more doable. Because doing a PhD on your own is really hard. Doing a PhD with support is really hard, but it's a lot more bearable. You deserve that, and your PhD will be so much stronger for it.